So this is the final look. This video will be a everyday fall makeup look featuring Black Radiance and no blush for this look, for the purpose of giving it a more mature fall feel. You would not need blush for this. So if you want to know how I achieved this look, make sure you click on this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna start with my eyebrows, and make sure you have a close-up mirror so that you can really get into these eyebrows, because you don't want to mess it up. So I basically just shaded that in, and you just use that material from brushing it in to brush it up to make them look fuller. Usually I shade them in like super dark. I line the top and the bottom. This time I'm not doing that. And then if you want, you can extend it down just a little on the end to your liking. And then to conceal the eyebrows, I will be using this LA Colors concealer. This is in the shade Deep. This is the only brand I've ever really used to conceal my eyebrows, and it basically just gives you that effect where like it looked like you went to the nail shop and got your eyebrows waxed, so they just look way neater, and it just gives it a more sharp look. Typically you're supposed to use the same shade as your highlight, but this is one I'm using. It's basically like the same as my foundation. So you just line the top and the bottom right here. And the outside if you want. Like, you don't necessarily have to do this part. And same for the other one. So when I come back and then it's blended, you're gonna see the difference. So right now this is how it looks. When I come back, it's gonna look way better. For this one, you can use either a beauty blender with a sharp end, like this with a sharp tip, or like a very small detail brush like this, even smaller than this one. So I'm gonna be right back. So I concealed the first one. Basically you can see how this one looks more wider, and then over here this one looks more narrow and clean and sharp. So that's the point of concealing. So this is the Black Radiance foundation. This foundation was less than, I believe, $7. This is the shade Caramel, and as you can see, it's a very good color match. You can almost wear this by itself. But once I'm done putting on the foundation, I will be right back. So now the foundation is on, but I'm gonna be honest, I really feel like this foundation is expired because it's real patchy and it's peeling. But sometimes you just gotta like play it off. So I'm using this concealer, also Black Radiance. This is like in the shade Light. So you're gonna put it on the under eyes, on the chin, in the middle of the nose, above the eyebrows, and like above the lip. Now this foundation or brand is one of my favorites because it just gives like a foreign look. I don't know what other word to use for it, because when I put this foundation on, it's my shade, but every time I'm done with it, it looks way like it looked like I used a darker shade. So once I put on this bronzer, you're gonna be like, okay, I see it. So I'm gonna let this sit, and while this is sitting, I'm gonna put on my favorite eyeshadow, which is not Essence, this is Milani, but it's the perfect shade for my skin tone, and this is the only shade right here that I use. And again, like I said in like my previous lives or videos, when you use nude colors, you can't really mess it up, especially if you find one that's like perfect for your skin tone. You can't mess it up. So like this. Now you're supposed to really stay on the eyelid, but sometimes I be going over, but you can't tell because of how good the match is. And then when you put on the eyelash, you really can't tell. So find your perfect match shade. So that's done. I'm gonna blend this because I'm scared that it's gonna keep rolling. Like, I need to go buy another one. But right now I'm using these beauty blenders that I got from Five and Below. It came with like 100 of them for $5. Yeah, certain concealers you can let sit, but some of them you have to almost do immediately because it's going to stick. Like this one, I think. Like the way it's blending, I feel like it looks like I'm putting on pressed powder instead of blending the actual concealer. And this is going to be a dewy look. Yeah, something about Black Radiance I love. In one of my previous videos, I ranked my top 3. So Essence is number 1, Black Radiance, and then Milani. After Milani, I would say e.l.f. You have to look at my lives where I did full face of e.l.f., full face of Milani, full face of, and you're gonna see the difference. The next brand somebody said that I should use is L'Oreal, but I'm not gonna lie. The last time I went and looked at L'Oreal and them prices, I said, okay, this is gonna have to wait, because I had just went on a run where I just was like study buying makeup, and I have too much to try and get through. See how this foundation is basically expired. I used it like once. So once I run out of product, then I'll try L'Oreal. Okay. And I feel like I need to do a setting spray in between the bronzer. Let that dry. Because this is really sticking like that. The primer that I used, the e.l.f. primer, it's really good. It's almost like glue. Yeah. So after this, I'm going to do the bronzer. Just because I want you to see how it all comes together. Okay. Now it may look a little shaky right now, but you have to trust the process with certain products. So this is the Black Radiance Contour Palette. This is the shade I'm using for my contour. This is what's gonna bring it all together. See, I'm already seeing it in 2 seconds. This is the brand that I wore on my trip, and it did not last. This did not stand a chance out there. One little kid, this kid was like, "Oh my God, why does she look burnt?" It was just a little boy. He was probably like 5. But okay, you put it on at the top of your forehead, the jaw lines, and then you also put it on your cheekbones. See, now it's coming together. It's giving that brown fall feel. Now it's looking a little dark right now, but I'm gonna, once I do the pressed powder, it's going to lighten up. Okay. And now I'm gonna use also the smaller brush right here for the sides of the nose, because you want to give that sharp contour look. I also put it on the tip of the nose, right here. Okay. Now it might be looking a little dark, but once you put on the setting spray and the setting powder, it's gonna be fine. So, and if you feel like it's too dark, you just go in and you hold it to the side, like flat, and you just dust it. Okay, y'all, it's looking like I'm literally putting dirt on my face, but trust the process, trust it, okay? So now I'm going in with Maybelline Fit Me. This is a pressed powder. This is in the shade Sun Beige. So I'm gonna let this actually sit for like 2 to 3 minutes while I'm doing the the lip combo, which is again going to be a neutral look. And you're basically putting the setting powder in the same areas that you concealed. Okay. So I'm just gonna let this sit. Now I have, excuse me, I have this brown. This is basically like a contour stick, but I'm using it as a lip liner. Just because I feel like the actual lip liners are too thin. And they break a little too easy. So that is that. I have this Milani lip gloss. It's kind of like a lipstick and lip gloss in one. And then you just put on a clear gloss on top. And that's that. Now I'm gonna dust the setting powder off with this brush right here. And as you can see, it's starting to come together. The only thing I really need to do now is the setting spray. And I'm done. And that's what I mean by like a mature, no blush look. Okay. So that's it. So I did my eyebrows, right? I did my eyebrows, concealed them. I put on primer, foundation, concealer, bronzer, the lip combo. So now I'm going to put on this setting spray. This is e.l.f. The last thing will be lashes. And that's it. Now, most of the time when you do your makeup, it's not going to look how you want. Like, me personally, it doesn't look how I want it to look until about 30 minutes. So you have to really let it set in. And I'm spraying so much of this. And like for spraying that much of setting spray, you need to be in front of a fan or something. But for me, I'm just gonna use this old eyelash case to fan it. I probably just like took all the lip off. And the like it looks good now, but when I put on the lashes, I'm like, damn, okay. Yeah, a lot of the times blush is not really, a lot of the times blush is not even necessary, as you can see for this look right here. It basically look like I just got a tan. Okay, so once I have the lashes on, I'm gonna be right back for you guys to see the final look. So I'm back, and this is the final look. So this is how it looks with no blush at all. I don't feel like it's necessary, and this is perfectly fine to wear every day, no matter what you have going on. So this is why I really like the brand Black Radiance, because it literally, I feel like this brand really does what the name says. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, bye.